worship money.
I'd also like to get Sanjay Rana on this as well. Sanjay Rana, as KV Dhananjay has said, that this was something that's very unexpected, and it's something that's very unheard of. And if you would have asked earlier, something like this that has happened, they would not have agreed to this. But now that the collegium has released all of the details, how do you take in this unprecedented move that has taken place? What do you make out of this episode that has happened?
Good morning to my fellow panelists. I'll take it in two parts. One is obviously on judge part. Obviously, explanation has been given by honorable judge, and he, system has to take a call and do the investigation, because these kind of things never happen. I've not seen, at least in last couple of years, or maybe after independence, we have not seen such kind of things happen in, at least in India, and we are living in a democratic country, and judicial system is one of the pillar. And if any allegations coming on the system, then obviously system has to clean it up. So I think internal, investigation is happening at this point of time, and people will come out with all the reports and not. But if any judge is coming and saying, I'm living in some residence and I'm not responsible, I'm not aware what exactly happened in his residence, is very surprising. It's not acceptable by any people of India or anyone, those who are living in this country. Because if you are living, you're accountable and you are answerable to the place, whether it's a private place or is a public place or going by the government. If anyone is coming, obviously you are well aware about that. And nowadays we have a security system where each and every people will get investigated and scrutiny before entering into any premises, whether your premises, my premises. Forget about the Chief Justice and forget about the High Court Justice. But second part, obviously, I appreciate the Supreme Court initiative. They have, released all the details in public domain, but it's not going to, going to work it out. Obviously, it's much appreciated, but I think we, system has to take a call and do the proper investigation. Transferring to Allahabad Court, High Court is not a solution for sure, because Allahabad High Court is not a dumping yard where you can transfer to anyone anywhere. Okay, if you want to do an investigation, obviously you need to just not provide any power. You will not take any action or will not take any responsibility or duties what is assigned to people should believe in judicial system, because this scenario is absolutely is a trust. People are believing on our judicial system, or Supreme Court, High Court, and judges, and the system. If anyone is doing like this, we are shattering the trust for sure. And this kind of activity, absolutely, in my, that's why I say I divided into two parts. I believe that we need to come out and he has to answer from where he got this money. Obviously, anyone is going to got like this has to answer whether 10 crores or 15 crores. I don't know. Obviously, the rumor full of cash. So from where this money arrived, this was a conspiracy, then it has to come out. If it is not, investigation should happen for sure. But I believe is a black day, I would say, is a black spot on the judicial system, and judicial system need to clean each and everything which is coming on them. But yes, it's a clear cut of corruption. If a corruption happened, I'm not saying it's happened or not, but if it happened, then the system has to take a corrective action, because it's a matter of 142 crore people. Because we look at the judges, we look at our system as a temple, as a mandir, and if this kind of things happen, then we will lose our credibility. We will lose credibility of the system and the pillar of this country. So I believe then two things go parallelly. Supreme Court anyways, release all the things in the public domain is good, appreciated, but second, investigation is required. And whether he is done or not, he has to come out from this corruption allegation, whatever is there on his head. But yes, if his residence is there and he is responsible for that, if anything is happening in his residence, then he is responsible and he has to answer it. This kind of expression, I don't think is going to work it out, and system has to take a call on the same.
I'd also like to get Harsh Singh Dahiya, lawyer, Supreme Court, to join in on this conversation. Harsh Singh, in terms of a case like this, we have seen that now a three-member panel has been formed to conduct a deeper probe into this, because it has a High Court judge at the center of this. So it's something that has to be handled in a much more delicate, more precarious manner. So how do you think approach a situation like this? But before I get Harsh Singh Dhaya on this, we have with us Aman Lekhi, senior advocate, joining us on the telecast. Aman Lekhi, thank you so much for joining us on the telecast. In terms of this case that we are seeing, what do you make of the entire inquiry report made by Delhi High Court's Chief Justice? I think we'll get that sorted. But before viewers, we get into that, it's a very unprecedented thing that has happened. It's something in an episode that we have seen that has shocked a lot of people. The Delhi High Court has released a report like this. But again, I'd like to get Harsh Singh again on this, as I had posed a question on this. Harsh Singh, I think we are currently not been able to get Harsh Singh Dhai on this. So, I like to get Sanjay Sai on this. Sanjay, in terms of the case like this, we have seen now a three-member panel has been formed and it has a High Court judge at the center of it. How does one investigate without tarnishing the image of the judiciary in a case like this?
See, the job of any inquiry committee is not to look into whether the name of the judiciary is being tarnished or it is not being tarnished. They have a very clear-cut mandate from the collegium that they will do inquiry of the nature as it is prescribed and finally come up with the finding and the recommendation thereof. First and foremost, we should salute Delhi High Court Chief Justice for having cleared the smoke screen. For last 2 days, it was such a smoke screen which was over and above democracy, judicial system, literally anything and everything, and the nature of detailing which he has got into and whatever you narrated. So I have not gone to the report myself, but I've seen the video and pictures thereof. It has been made very, very clear as to where we stand, and none of the panelists here or anybody in the country who has a fair idea of law and the way judiciary operates, I think it would be a very, very welcome step. There is no denying the fact this is certainly the most dismal day in the history of Indian democracy and in the history of Indian judicial administration. So this has to be proven as a watershed moment, and we switch over to a totally different format, mode as we move further. Now, one thing which needs to be looked into, I'll get into the investigation part of it, but one thing needs to be looked into is the nature of legal immunity or the constitutional immunity which is being provided to the judges. We have reached a stage where literally nothing can be done to them. But for impeachment, and impeachment remains the sole prerogative of the parliament of this country, the sovereign body of this country. So whether that is feudal, it is not feudal, it is modern, not in tune with the times, in tune with the times, now that has to be taken as a separate call, because this becomes too lengthy a process, and more often than not, or might be in the history of this country, it has never happened. Coming to the committee. Now the committee, though it is known as the inquiry committee, what is mandated to the committee is a very clear-cut investigation. Now you start with the first thing, that is your video and the pictures. Now the video and pictures will have any number of data. As all of you would be aware, a picture will have somewhere around 16 to 18 data points. And this stockpile of cash which we have been talking about, I think if we do a reasonable amount of video analytics with the tools which are available to us, inclusive of a couple of artificial intelligence tools, we might be even able to reach some understanding as to what the quantum of money was involved. Then we come to the ingress and egress. Now, as the advocate Dhananjay was talking about, entering into a High Court judge house, I think it is, people would accept that it does not happen. Added to that you have the video surveillance in name of CCTV. And the CCTV is just not the footages which we see day in and day out. See, the footages have variety of things which is ingrained as metadata. And also, there is a nature of video analytics which can be done. Earlier, we know of a CBI director's case where the visitor's book, and that was the main evidence. So this comes to the next. The Supreme Court, the collegium has very clearly, it has directed Justice Verma to preserve all data and messages on his phone. Failing which, it will be destruction of evidence, and destruction of evidence in itself is a major crime. Additionally, record of all security staff deployed at his residence over the previous 6 months have been requested to assist in the investigation. Circumstances leading to and the recovery of cash and reviewing all relevant evidence. The report which has come into the public domain has moved certainly in that direction, but because of the paucity of time and the nature of purpose, so that things come into the public domain, this particular thing it has brought us to this level. All the three honorable judges, they are more and more than competent to deal with the investigation of this nature, which is primarily a Prevention of Corruption Act investigation. So they know what is to be done, how it is to be done. And in the current day and age, for whatever alibi Justice Verma has been talking about, that can be completely punctured only by way of technical evidence. Call data records, they have also been talking about interdomain policy routing, which we call as IDPR records. Then your visitor management, your CCTV, and there will be lots of other movements which is generally being captured in the normal functioning and the normal living in that particular residence. So I think this is a clear-cut, pure criminal investigation. Though the name of criminal investigation has not been given, it is a three-member inquiry committee given the parameters of law and in which they are supposed to work with regards to High Court judge. But let us be very, very clear about it. There is nothing delicate about it, and there is nothing high and mighty about it, and that is the approach that should be taken by the inquiry committee, and it should also be taken by the rest of the media and rest of the world. Let's not put something on a pedestal when a criminal activity has happened and
All
the
right.
judge